So the topic sentence is the first sentence of a paragraph, and its job is to tell the reader what the paragraph is about effectively. And it's important that you don't do any more than that in terms of looking ahead. It's just signpost what the focus of the paragraph is, and that's enough. You don't need to, if we go back to this example here, you don't need to tell me what you're going to say at the end. You just need to tell me what it is we're going to focus on in this particular paragraph, and the rest of the discussion here can help me develop, can help the ideas develop to this combination here, this takeaway point here. So you don't need to really do anything other than say to the reader in as many words, this is what this paragraph is about. I put here as well, think about how the focus of the paragraph connects to the previous paragraphs and the wider focus. So topic sentence is a great position of the overall text, but also the paragraphs more specifically, in terms of facilitating flow. Like, it's a really good way in topic sentences to help develop the flow. So think very carefully about how the topic sentence can connect the ideas that you've already presented for your reader. So in terms of, I always say topic sentences should most of the time have two positions, not always, but two positions. First position is linkage back. Second position is signpost forwards. So linkage back meaning, what have we just talked about? Signpost forwards, what are we now going to talk about? Think about that, and that's how topic sentences can help to facilitate some flow. Takeaway points, as we've just looked at, it's the closing statement of a paragraph. I put there single or succession. It might be at the end of a single paragraph, or it might be the end of 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. It's wherever you feel like you can bring the points or the points together that you're trying to make in that section of the paper. And it consolidates the discussion, and I put where necessary, but most of the time it will explicitly respond to the assignment title. So the reason this is important is because sometimes people do this really well. Sometimes they develop the discussion really well, but then they don't do this. And I've actually got a couple of examples of the same assignment title, two different students' interpretation of the same assignment title, and both are very good, but one's a 72 and one's a 68. And I've got examples throughout that actually proves that the only real difference is that 72 was doing this and the 68 wasn't. And there were comments in that paper, in the 68, that said at the end of paragraphs stuff like, what do you mean by this? Like, why is it important? Link it to the assignment title. So if we go back here, without this bit at the end, this would be good. With this bit at the end, it's really, really good. They've elevated the quality to that next level because they're telling the reader here explicitly how it responds to this and what it all means. And that's the culmination of evaluation. You don't need to keep telling your reader in between all of these different sentences, oh, this means this shows this. You can just keep the discussion moving, keep the flow moving, bring it together, and it can culminate in a takeaway point here. So it's important that you do this. This signposts, the topic sentence signposts what's to come. The takeaway point signposts what's important. And that's why I call it takeaway point, because it's what do you want your reader to take away with you. Okay. Let's have a look at a quick example just to sort of reinforce that. So I've got an assignment title here again, which is a pretty sort of standard assignment title in the sense that it's sort of open-ended and broad to a certain degree, and it allows you to do what you want with it. What I've done here is a really useful technique for you to think of, and this is just as effective if you're doing a 75,000 word thesis as it is if you're doing a 2,000 word essay. So I've taken the first sentence of this paragraph and the last sentence of the same paragraph. And what this allows you to do is it distills your focus and crystallizes your focus on the topic sentence and the takeaway point. The signposting parts of the paragraph where you tell the reader what you're going to do and where you tell them what it is that matters and what you found and how it links to the assignment title, or what it is you're trying to achieve. And what you can see here is, look, this starts in a pretty clear place in the sense that it centers on the role of impact. It clearly links to the title, which is good, but they've given me a clear focus, impact. So that's good. Now, 200, 250 words, however many words are in the paragraph, I don't know, it's in sample D, but I've omitted all of that, taken that out. And let's jump straight to the last sentence of the paragraph. And what you'll notice is, firstly, you can see how the discussion has developed and moved forward. But it hasn't lost focus on impact. It's still about impact, but it shows you that it's moved the discussion forward. And you won't understand the full context of these two sentences without reading what comes in between it, and that's where a lot of the marks sit. But without doing this, you miss that opportunity of the paragraph where you can tell the reader what it means. That these two sentences, they're doing a lot of work, but they're doing it implicitly. I mean, it's explicit in the sense that it's clear to your marker what they're doing, but it's not phrased in a way that makes it too obvious or too on the nose. So it's sort of crafted in a really refined way. So good, clear topic sentence, that's the focus, links to the title, so it keeps it bound to that single focus. And they've maintained the focus when you come to the takeaway point, but you can see how the discussion has developed and moved forward. Now, this for you is a great technique. So when you're revising something, when you're planning it, try and break it up into sections. It might be each paragraph, it might more likely be 2-3 paragraphs at a time that reflect one section of the paper. And focus on these two sentences, these two positions. Look at the topic sentence, look at the takeaway point. Even if you want, extract them out and put them in a different Word document and read through. And it reads like a skeleton to your whole paper. And focus on these points. Are they getting across to your reader what you need them to get across? I often say this is a great way to plan, not just edit, but plan. And sometimes people say to me they always lose focus in the middle of an essay, or they deviate and they don't feel like they come back and make the point they're trying to make. These are the two positions that should tell you what's happening. Like, if you're going to lose focus in the middle of a paragraph, it will happen in the middle of the paragraph. But it's easier to spot that here and here, because you can see where you started and you can see where you've ended. And if you haven't ended where you feel you need to end, then something's gone wrong in the middle.